And if a stress or a threat is perceived, then we have an older limbic brain system that will respond to its stress. It will do what it has been programmed to do for hundreds of thousands of years, if not longer. And that is prepare the body for fight or flight. When that stress or threat is perceived, the sympathetic nervous system, it's going to get fired up. There's going to be a shot of cortisol, a rush of adrenaline. Here's a little epinephrine for you. There'll be an increased heart rate, increase in blood pressure, shortness of breath. The immune system is going to fire up the inflammation system to prepare the body for a contusion or bite or a broken bone. Let's refer to this older limbic system that responds to stress as the inner gorilla. I'm sorry, that's the wrong gorilla? That's Mike Perrier? There we go. There's our inner gorilla. If we let our reactions to stress go unchecked and let the inner gorilla constantly run the show, then we could experience a breakdown of that sympathetic nervous system. A person will experience adrenal fatigue, a sense of always being tired. There'll be chronic inflammation and perhaps pain from that chronic inflammation. In short, it's going to result in a lot of stress on those telomeres. So, times have changed, and so have our brains. About 70,000 years ago, humans, Homo sapiens, underwent the cognitive revolution. And the whole upstart of the cognitive revolution was a massive advantage over our neighbors, the Homo erectus, Neanderthal, not to mention every single species on the planet. And what happened during that cognitive revolution is that humans began to develop and refine their prefrontal cortex. Now, the whole upstart of that prefrontal cortex is now humans, they were now able to have rational thought. They're able to conceive of an idea and communicate that concept to another human being who is then able to grasp that concept without even seeing it in real life. They began to develop an emotional IQ. They began to develop morality. But most importantly, this development of the prefrontal cortex gave humans the ability to manage emotion and manage thought. We'll refer to this newer brain system as the inner human. So, the opportunity to be hunted down and do battle with an apex predator nowadays has pretty much been reduced to zero. You have to pay good money for an experience like that. Now, however, on a daily, if not by the minute basis, humans are having to do battle with their thoughts and their emotions. So, sitting between the inner human and within the limbic brain system of the old gorilla is a brain structure called the amygdala, okay? And one of the jobs of the amygdala is to process emotions. So, if emotions such as anger, grief, shame, jealousy, bitterness, judgment, insecurity, or any other of the fear-based emotions are perceived by the amygdala, what's one of the options? Let's pick up the phone to the inner gorilla to handle the situation, and then he'll come crashing in, and all of the physical and mental duress that comes along with it. That inner gorilla is a reaction to stress. So, the term mindfulness has been around for a long time. We often associate it with Eastern religions. But nowadays you could pick up your phone, go to the App Store, and choose from dozens, if not 100 different apps that will help you with the practice of mindfulness. And you might be saying, Tom, it's a bunch of bullshit, I don't need that. And you know what? I used to think the same thing myself. But then I started looking at it. I took a different approach. I was reading works of Buddhism. I was reading the works of the Dalai Lama. I was doing yoga. I was doing meditation. I was trying to pry open my third eye. But I became disenchanted with it. Probably much the same way I became disenchanted with the Catholic Church when I became an adult. No offense to any Catholics here. So I decided, or I discovered more, I should say, a more scientific, a more physiological approach to mindfulness. So if I want to improve a muscle group, or if I want to improve an energy system, I need to subject my body to a good stress, framed as a challenge. And then I need to rest. Okay? I do that enough, and over time, my muscles are going to get better, my energy systems are going to get better, and I'll be prepared for just about any physical situation that might come my way. Like sprinting for a connecting flight that's on the other side of a terminal, and it's leaving in 5 minutes, and every sign is in a language that I don't understand. So just as I need to improve my physical muscles, I also need to improve my mindfulness muscle. So what do I mean by that? It means that when I am faced with a stressful situation, such as sprinting for that connecting flight, or about to have an argument with someone I love, I have two options. I could either react with the inner gorilla, or I could pause, put some distance between the inner gorilla and the inner human, and let the inner human do some work. Remember that gorilla is a reaction to stress, and the inner human is a response to stress. I ask you this: if the red lights are flashing, and the next thing that you are about to say to the love of your life is either going to wind up in a 2-day full argument or a constructive conversation that's going to improve the relationship, who would you rather have in charge of the situation? A stressed out, fear-based, adrenaline-fueled animal, or someone acting out of love? Either way, lives are going to be changed. To bring out the inner human in more, if not every moment of our lives, is going to drastically reduce our stress and all the physical and mental duress that comes along with it. But this is going to take practice.